there is a delay, 6 second delay, I guess. So today, uh, I'm gonna be like, wait a minute. I'm gonna be like doing some geometry node shit. Like, if you don't know what's geometry node, it's just like if you take this plane and you just go in this tab and there, it's like geometry node. So you have like, you can adjust it in any way. Like if you want to make something that is way more complex, or it's easy but it takes lots of time, so you can do it really quickly in geometry nodes just by like doing some, like adding some nodes and stuff. uh, it's my old lap, it's like my current laptop is just like there, it's not the new laptop. So it could lag, or like my stream can crash at any time. So I don't know, the stream could crash anytime, I guess. Yo, what's good, Rickix? Yo. Ah, your project, like I did your project, but it's like it has disappeared somehow. It's like I started rendering it and it just went. Is this guy live streaming with Blender? Yes, sir. I was like thinking, if I can't do anything like any, what do you say, Minecraft or any like complex stuff, then I could just stream doing some simple as live stream. Oh, uh, yo, wait. Can you hear me now? Bro, it's yo. Can you hear me now? I guess you can now. Yo, what happened? Oh, OBS is tweaking. What did I do? uh, yeah, I know. I can't do anything. It's like, uh, if I do something, like if I increase the volume, it just, yeah, let's go. Yeah, I guess you know why it is. Damn, I can hear myself from my phone. I guess the fan noises will be there. Bro, why is it? Why did the media stop? Oh, I guess wait. Okay. I guess now you can hear me now properly. Wait. Now, okay, the background noise is. You should volume down. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ah, I gotta increase the gain in this. Properties. Hello. Yeah. I can't change it to my Bluetooth. Yes. I guess that's all. Like, I guess we should start with that, with the video. So, yeah, one more thing. I am following. Oh wait, I'm following this guy's tutorial. His name is Crossmind Studio. Like his channel name is Crossmind Studio. Uh, it was intriguing, so that's why I was like, yeah, I should try it. Let's see how much I learn from this. There are about, I guess, except the one on the top, that's just the trailer. There are about 34 videos in this. So first of all, why I'm oh wait. First of all, why I'm learning geometry nodes is like, uh, if I, for example, if I wanna simulate something, I wanna like not simulate actually. I wanna make this kind of animation. I could just use this. Uh, wait. I wanna make some kind of wave animation. Alright, bro. I'll be I'll be waiting for your videos. So I could just like change it this way, this with this. Oh wait. Like something like this. This is like abstract as. It's like I want to make something like an abstract, but I don't know. I don't want to waste my time just doing this. I wanna, you know, try making it without like wasting my time and like be more efficient. And it, if Like, if I know all of this, I guess I'll have more idea what I'm doing. Yeah, let's start. Okay, the second video. Okay. Let me just change some things. I need to fix some things actually. Wait. Uh, Moderators. I have to change the moderators. YouTube Studio. Studio settings. Yeah, everything is good, I guess. Yeah, everything is good to go. Okay. Yeah, hello. Yeah, the I guess the tutorial starts now. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Should really do hope is that. I guess I'll actually I want to see the chat also.
instead of literally adjusting everything manually. Unlike the simple modeling or working with the modifiers, procedural workflows have the ability to communicate within itself and output result based on the rules that are set in the node tree. So for instance, let's say a sentence describes there will be more grass where it rains, or you can say there are more trees around the river. So thinking from the beginner's point of view, how will you approach this kind of scene? So I think you probably will start making a ground plane, maybe sculpt an area for the river.
Okay, why is there
I
an
want to go to
ad?
my house.
Wait, no, we should go explore. Guys, I gotta go.
Bruh, there's an ad.
And then maybe
Okay.
with the help of particles or something, there will be a weight paint which will help you distribute the trees. So basically you will make one ground plane and then one tree, and then manually you will have to sculpt this river area. So there are three different things. So let's say if something changes, or maybe it's a different location where the flow of the river changes, then what will you do? In that case you will probably have to sculpt this area again and redistribute the trees and do the entire work again, basically manually placing the trees on the wood paint and do all those adjustments. So this is not a system. This is like you literally spoon feeding the software with with individual information, like this is the ground and this is the ground, these are the trees, and then weight paint. So there's nothing exciting about that. So these are like old methods. If you're working on bigger projects, then you probably will end up wasting time with this kind of system. So instead of that, what if we could make a very simple system? So this is the most simple example actually. So we will talk about the geometry node, how to make this in geometry node later. So what if we could make a ground plane, and
Oh, so we are basically making like a terrain with the river, I guess.
on top of that,
With trees and stuff. I actually wanted to do that. It's like really tough making those kind of things. Like if I wanted to make something like that, I would just go like that only. I'll just go like this, add some terrain thingy. Uh, yeah, deform plane. Wait. It's like deform or something. Surface deformation. Like there are many things that I could do. As he said, my dumb, like if if it's me, then I could go like this, like doing something like that. Select this surface. It's basically contour. Like delete these faces. Delete faces. And yeah, you have this kind of plane thingy. It's like low poly because that's what I do now, because it's like I I can't use any modifier or anything, or my laptop crashes. If I use the Blender kit, if I just import a rock, look at this rock. Okay, it looks like this. It's like, yo, that's a rock. But when you go to edit mode, yeah, that's where you'll get traumatized. Literally. I guess there's like some option, I guess, where you could see the amount of, yeah. So it's not preferable like that. So yeah, this guy is like cooking something.
That in the node tree, if we could assign an object which will make a river. So let's say if I make a spline here, and if I tell this node tree to pick up this shape of spline, and wherever this spline falls, the influence area of this spline will mark the area as river. So this area, so let me just bring one color. So this area will be now called river. So you will basically set an attribute for river. So in future, whenever the shape of this spline changes, let's say if you change the shape of this spline, make it like this, then the river will change accordingly. And so
Oh.
this
It's basic spline, I guess it's basically a path or something. Like yesterday also, I was making something like uh, like a cylindrical thingy, and I was like, what can I do with it? But like I thought I could just add what do you say, a path. There's the path, and go in edit mode, and just go. And I can go like this way. Uh, so basically, I thought I could use a path or something, but no, it doesn't work. And also, oh shit, I forgot to show you that. A path, if I add this, and if I go to the data, and if I, there's this thing called depth or something. Yeah, here. Yeah, I can increase the depth, and yeah, it kind of looks like that. And, and I could like just move it this way or something. Hehe. That's how I made the dragon also. I think so that's enough of yapping and focusing on the tutorial. Spline is like something different. It's just a line or something.
one attribute will be called river. And then in the node tree, you tell this node tree that wherever the influence of this river stops, from that point onwards, rest everything will be marked as forest. So then you'll assign a different attribute, and
Oh,
these
it's basically logic.
areas on the ground will be automatically called whenever there is any change in the shape of the river. Other than that area, rest everything will fall under that attribute called forest. So now you have two attribute, river and forest. So instead of manually weight painting, you are basically making a very small system which can, with a single input, it can drive the whole output. So Now when we bring the trees, so instead of manually doing a paint job on the weight paint, so what we can do is we can assign the trees and link that with the attribute. So if next time when I bring the trees, we can tell the trees to align wherever the forest attribute is. So next time when you bring the tree in the node system, it will look for this attribute and will avoid this attribute and will automatically make a dense area out of tree.
Isn't that just weight painting with data or something?
So now if I in the next scene, if I change the layout of the scene, let's say if I make it a diagonal spline or something, or within the scene if I make any changes, so what will happen is the influence of that spline will automatically mark the area for these attributes like the forest and the river, and the placement of the trees will be automatically assigned. The distribution will happen automatically basically. So this way, so let's say if you have like 15 more locations, or in future if you have a different scene in the different project, if you're dealing with a similar kind of situation, then all you will have to do is load up this node tree on any other ground object and it will work exactly the same. It will mark the area based on the shape of the spline and distribute the foliage or the trees accordingly. Investing a little more time on this procedural system is worth more than doing all that work manually from ground up every time. And this is the most basic example. We will talk more details as we move forward in later chapters. So this was a slightly intermediate example. Now thinking from beginner's point of view, what is the most basic thing you can create with the geometry nodes? So how about making a 3-point lighting for the characters? Now some would say this is a ridiculous example. Now why would we do that in the geometry nodes? Now for example, how many steps are involved in creating a simple turnaround? You will have to create a 3-point lighting and then make a 360 animation for the character. Now however simple it is, it's 5 minutes job. So what if you could record that entire procedure node group and save it for the future purpose? So whenever you have a character, you can simply load this node group and it will bring a 3-point lighting, a ground object, and also make a 360 nice animation for you. Now if you think harder, you might be able to figure out 10 more things which can be made with the nodes, can be reused to save time. Another example, how about an exploded view of an object which turns into holographic wireframe and then assembles back? I think that should be possible with the geometry nodes. So in simple words, now that you have upped your game in the animated content creation and you really want to take the animation seriously and take on the bigger projects, the 2 things you would need to add to your kit: adding non-destructive workflow. You should be able to make things with confidence without having to worry about limitations of the undo or the uncertainties of design changes in the future. Anything you make in the bigger projects should be procedural, so that let's say if your client says, I don't want a bird in the logo and instead I want a marshmallow, so you should be able to make those changes in the logo and without having to worry about the rest of the animations and effects that you have applied on that logo. And number 2, making reusable procedural systems. Like I mentioned before, instead of doing manual work, start thinking a system which can save you time in the future. A digital asset can be made and purposed beyond the scope of the current project, and getting used to making procedural systems instead of starting models will help you save time and stress less on mundane works and leave more room for the creativity. So imagine having a library of your own digital assets like trees, buildings, books, etc., whereby just tweaking few numbers you can change the look of it. Houdini is known for its procedural workflow and powerful digital assets, and nowadays more and more programs are adapting to the node-based procedural workflow. Similarly, Blender's geometry node is beginning in the similar direction as well. And in this short introduction series, we are going to cover absolute basics for the beginners and end this series by creating this short animation. And the animation is very simple. Any model that I bring in will be split in 2 parts, one golden, one silver, and some small round shapes would emit at the partition line, and also add simple wireframe which would construct one side of the mesh. So I made this in simplest way one could make without overloading first timers with information. Also, at some point, if something is really not working in geometry nodes and if you are really stuck, do not get frustrated. Reason could also be that the feature is not fully developed. So don't blame yourself, it could also be a bug or incomplete feature. So just check the forums if you get stuck at some point. So let's begin with the basics and start understanding the interface of the geometry nodes so we can have some common ground to discuss the future tutorials. I'll see you guys in this video. Click right here and let's jump to the next.
I'll be back actually. Uh, so I think I'll be back till 6 o'clock. I'll be back by 6. I'll have some lunch and yeah.